Welcome back, folks. We are now going to toss it over to our meteorologist, Brittany Van Voorhees. And Brittany, we talked about it yesterday, multiple rounds of rain expected today. But when will we see some of the strongest storms?
Well, the strongest storms, Tradisha, late morning, early afternoon. But ahead of them, we have seen a decent amount of stabilization because of the rain and some of that heavy rain moving through Anson County right now. I chose this camera because it kind of shows that while we are dry for the most part in Mecklenburg County, heavy rain can be, just to our east. As east of 77 is where the heaviest rain is at this moment. I want to focus in, though, on one spot here in Chesterfield County that's seeing heavy rain and really, really gusty winds. I've been watching this area for potential downburst signatures right now, as I have been tracking this area from really Campbell Crossroads and Bay Springs all the way toward Bethesda here in Chesterfield County. Winds gusting upwards of 55, close to 60 miles per hour. Now, this is the difference again between severe thunderstorms versus just regular non-thunderstorm winds. We haven't seen any significant lightning strikes within any of these cells. So this is just a really strong winds with these gusting storms moving by very, very quickly. So interesting to keep in mind there. So please be mindful of that if you're in this area. The winds are likely howling. It, of course, is just something you want to probably stay inside until these have passed. Otherwise, you look off toward the west and we have mostly just scattered activity now that that first line has moved through. That's for York County down toward Chester County, as well as some scattered activity for Gaston over toward Lincoln, Cleveland County, as well as Mecklenburg County. But the actual cold front is still well off to our west. This isn't going to move through until much later on this afternoon. And as it does so, it will be the trigger point for some of those strong to even severe storms. Still, though, the highest risk is well east of the Charlotte area. In fact, that's going to be the best chance to see a quick spin-up tornado possible. Risk across the Charlotte area still mainly east of 77, and it is low but not zero. However, as we stabilize this morning, I think that risk is much lower even than where we were yesterday. Damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour is still the primary risk. Again, not just in the strong storms we could see later on today, but the non-thunderstorm winds, just like what we're seeing right now. Lightning, of course, off and on. It is storms after all, which by definition, storms have lightning within them. And the flooding risk is pretty low because of the drought currently that we've had across the Carolinas. When there's a drought and you're not seeing more than, I would say, 2 to 3 inches in one day, you often do see some minor flooding, but not widespread flash flooding events. Now, the overall thunderstorm fuel is really, really limited. Again, partially because we've stabilized this morning, partially because we just don't have a lot of sunshine in the forecast today. And that's why the east coast of the Carolinas is seeing that higher risk for strong storms. So let's talk timing here. Around noon, 1 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see a better chance for some of those pockets of heavier rain returning to the Charlotte area. This eventually moving eastward here by 3, 4, 5 o'clock. This is when we'll have our better chance for a few stronger storms east of 77, but much higher risk there. Again, mainly east of our area at all. So we're talking Raleigh, Southern Pines area after about 5 o'clock, and then more widespread rainfall coverage for us locally by that same time frame as that actual frontal boundary is pushing through. Most of that activity has wrapped up by about midnight, 1 o'clock. Again, rainfall accumulation will be very beneficial because of the ongoing drought, 1 to 2 inches of rain at a maximum for most of the region. And we're also going to see some snowfall accumulation for the mountains, but we'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour. After today's mess of a day, your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, you'll notice is much calmer for the upcoming week. Still a little bit breezy tomorrow morning. Temperatures dropping, though, to the mid-30s. Much cooler in the afternoon, mostly sunny with a high of 50. And we do stay much more seasonable throughout the upcoming work week.